Salutations to all our future judges. In this video, we are going to see the tips for success in Civil Judge Main Exam, Part 4. In this, we are going to discuss various skills which are expected from a judicial aspirant who is attending the main exam of the Civil Judge exam. Already 3 parts have been published in this regard, and those who are not seen those 3 parts, please do watch those 3 parts and then continue watching this 4th part so that you get the continuity of what has been stated in all those previous parts. In addition to this, tips on translation, a video is also published. Those who have not seen that video, the link of the playlist which contains the video is given in the iCard. Please watch that video. In addition to this, there are 7 videos which are published pertaining to the preliminary exam and the aspects containing to the preliminary exam strategies and question paper pattern and other related subjects. Those who have not seen those videos as well, please do watch those videos. Link of the playlist containing these videos is provided in the iCard. Before venturing into the video, I request you to watch the video from the beginning till the end without skipping in between, because each and every aspect which has been dealt with is very important for any aspirant who is aspiring to become a civil judge. Let us have a small recap of what we saw in part 1 so that you could refresh your memory with that. First skill expected is a language capability, and it is a general capability which is expected from any candidate who's trying to become a judge. Next is the legal procedures. As you all know that there are 2 major codes which provide legal procedures. So what they expect is, they expect the judicial aspirant to have thorough knowledge of civil procedure code and criminal procedure code. As you all know, a person who has been selected either could be posted as a civil judge or as a magistrate, depending upon the situation and circumstances. So it is very much essential that you should have equal knowledge in civil as well as in criminal procedures. The third point is analysis, applicability or admissibility of evidence. So now you got the language capabilities. Now that legal procedure knowledge has also been acquired, the next aspect is how we should analyze or apply or check the admissibility of evidence. And the greatest help we can get in all these aspects is from Indian Evidence Act. Indian Evidence Act is common to both civil and criminal procedure code. So a judge needs to know as to when he should apply this Indian Evidence Act and what is the weight or the importance of an evidence. Fourth point is thorough knowledge on format. As you all know, any person or any advocate who is practicing will obviously know that each and every petition which is filed is in a fixed format, which is generally provided in various acts and codes. So it is essential that a judge should know whether the petition filed to him or whether an application given to him or any other document submitted to him is in order, is in a specified format. It is very important. Next is implication or knowledge of Constitution. As you all know, Indian Constitution is supreme, and any act which is done by a judge should be governed by the Constitution. It should not violate the Constitution. So it is essential that a judge should have an absolute knowledge on Indian Constitution. Next is, if you are sitting as a judge, there are certain skills which are expected from a judge, and in main exam they test whether you have these skills as a judge. Of course, this is not only pertaining to the knowledge of law, this is also pertaining to the applicability of certain aspects. This includes judgment writing and framing of charges, bar issues. Now, coming to the continuation of the implication / knowledge of Constitution. Now, they frame questions in such a way to test your ability to recollect the articles in the Constitution and elaborately explain them. They could ask a question from a particular article and they may ask you to explain that concept. Questions are framed in such a way. Next is, you need to correlate the constitutional articles. There would have been some judgments given in that particular article, and there could be some judgments which connect this article as well as the act based on which a question is asked, or pertaining to the civil procedure code or criminal procedure code. Next is, you should be in a position to identify or find out the judgments which are overruled, and you should have the capability to explain why they were overruled. Questions are framed in such a way to test your knowledge in all these aspects. Next is the skills required for a judge. There are various skills which are expected from a judge. Let us try to figure it out. The first is the ability to identify which law is to be applied for a case in hand. For example, there could be a case in your hand pertaining to a criminal aspect. Then you need to identify, is there a specific act for this criminal act which has been done? For example, if it is falling under Negotiable Instruments Act, for example, a check bounce case, then Negotiable Instruments Act will apply and not IPC. And in some cases, there could be situations where two acts apply. For example, IPC will also apply. In addition to this, some other act will also apply. It is an example I am giving. So there could be some more cases where two different acts or three different acts or maybe even more acts apply simultaneously. So the first thing a judge needs to identify is when a case comes to the court, he needs to identify which law is to be applied for the case in hand. So that is very important. The next aspect is there are certain aspects which a magistrate or which a lower court judge or a trial court judge cannot handle, or the law does not provide him the authority or the jurisdiction to handle that particular case. He needs to identify that. Then that needs to be elevated to a higher judge as provided in the CRPC or CPC as the case may be. Next is legal knowledge as to when a case or issue should be rejected outright. For example, there could be certain cases which are to be rejected for certain reasons. For example, there could not be a prima facie at all. For example, there may be an amendment which the police personnel may not be aware of. So there would have been an amendment which would have struck down a particular provision, but a case might have been registered under that particular provision, under a struck down provision. So a judge needs to know that the case, the provision has been struck down, so a case cannot be filed under that particular section. This is just an example I am trying to give you, so that the judge will be in a position to reject that particular case outright, saying that no, this provision has been removed. So a case cannot be filed under this section. Next is act or provisions which are to be used when external agencies are involved. For example, there are some standing orders for police. The judge is bound to know those standing orders as well, not just acts. There are certain provisions under those acts or rules or procedures or standing orders. A judge needs to know when that particular provision or that particular act or that standing order should be applied. There are three different angles in which this can be viewed. A judge is operating based on law, act, and constitution as well. In addition to this, he is administering the court which he is having, where he assumes the role of an administrator. Next is he is interacting with the external agencies such as police, CBI, or any other government authorities, etc. So in that case, he needs to know how the external agencies are governed. So if a provision is there which says that the external agency, that is a police, is supposed to do a particular job, he needs to identify whether they have done that particular job. So this will help him in identifying the right provision. or the right act or provision which is applicable. And questions could be framed from these angles as well in the main exam. Next is knowledge to distinguish a case based on fact and case based on law. So you might ask a question that law and fact are to be combined together to give a judgment. That is an absolute fact. However, in certain cases, facts play a major role because some exceptional cases are there where the exception is given to an accused or to the victim, depending on the case. So facts play a major role compared to law in certain cases. However, it should not be against the law. That is also equally important. So this balance or this ability to distinguish as to when fact will overtake law or when law will overtake the fact or when both stand in the same platform. This distinction is very essential for determining a question which has been given in the main exam. Then we'll try to test the ability of a person, ability of a judicial aspirant to identify or to distinguish when the fact will play a major role, when the law will play a major role. Next is speed and accuracy in decision making. Generally, what happens in main exam is they give a particular problem and ask you to give a decision or give a ruling. In all these cases, what they expect is they expect you to read the question and come to a definite conclusion as to what law states in this regard. Then you can state or you can correlate the provisions and the fact and come to a conclusion. And this needs to be done at a faster pace. As you all know, the lower courts are generally overloaded throughout India. So if a judge needs to sit in that position, he needs to be absolutely fast and he needs to be accurate as well. So these are the aspects which are expected, or these are the skills which are required or expected from a judge. And questions are framed in the main exam based on all these aspects covered together. So it is very essential that these skills are to be developed before entering into the main exam. If you feel that the video was of some use to you, please do subscribe the channel by pressing the red color subscribe button and select all to receive the notification immediately when a video is published in this channel. And do remember to turn on the notification in your YouTube channel. Do share the video with your friends or to those who are in need. If you like the video, please do press the thumbs up button, and your comments are most welcome in this channel. If you feel that I've left something in this video, or if you feel I need to put a video on some other subject, please let me know by way of comment. All your comments will be attended to. I'll try to post a video on whatever subject you are asking. Let us join hands together and contribute for a learned society. Thank you.